The derivative of y equals to 3x squared with respect to x from the first principle. Join me as we solve this together. You're welcome to Teach Mathematics with DME. So we have y equals to 3x squared. That's the function. So let's call this equation 1 or expression 1. And so the first principle says that if there is a little change in the x variable, then there will be a change in the y variable. So we have y plus change in y equals to 3 into x plus change in x, and then we square this. Some other people call this the y and the x. So I'm going to stick to change in x and change in y. Essentially, we're dealing with change. We're dealing with the rate of change between two variables. The independent variable, which is x, and the dependent variable, which is y. So let's continue with this. So this is y plus change in y equals to 3. So let's expand this. This will give us x squared plus 2x change in x plus change in x squared. And so y plus change in y is equals to, open up the bracket, 3 times x squared, 3x squared plus 6x change in x plus 3 into change in x all squared. Now that we've expanded this, we can call this expression 2. So we are free to now say equation 2 minus equation 1. So y plus change in y minus y equals to 3x squared plus 6x change in x plus 3 change in x all square minus 3x squared. That's what we have here. So this is now change in y equals to x squared minus 3x squared. That's out. So we have 6s change in x plus 3 into change in x all square. If you have not clicked on the subscribe button, please subscribe to this channel now and share with people around you. So let's continue. So we have change in y equals to 6x change in x plus 3 into change in x all square. Now this is very useful for those who are preparing for exams. You have WAHEC, JAM exams, and other maths related exams. Now at this point, remember that our change, which is a gradient, is change in y with respect to change in x. Change in y with respect to change in x. And so in order for us to get this, remember it says with respect to x, we'll need to divide both sides by change in x. So divide both sides by change in x plus 3 change in x all square, all of this divided by change in x. So when you do this, we have change in y over change in x. This is now an identity equals to this, cancel this. We have 6x plus 3 into change in x. Okay, since one of it is out, so we have change in x. So we have change in y over change in x equals to 6x plus 3 change in x. At this point, we introduce our limit, which is a change in x when it tends towards 0. This simply means that when you have 2 points, let's say I have 2 points on this straight line, the rate of change between these 2 points will be the distance between them. That is the change, how far apart this is to this. But if this point, let's say this is point A and this is point B, if this point B begins to slope backward or it comes backward, you would observe that the change in between them continues to reduce to the point that when B gets to A, the change becomes 0. And so our limit here will be when the change in x equals to 0. So I'm just going to substitute change in x as 0. So this is change in y over change in x. Change in x equals to 6x plus 3 times 0. And so our final answer is 6. What we have just done is to find the derivative of y equals to 3x squared from the first principle. And so our answer is 6x.